to Coffee and Conversation. My name is Honorine, and today I'm with Andréa Hodge, who is pursuing a PhD in strategic management. Andréa, thank you for being with me today.
Hi, I'm really glad to have this time to chat with you, Honorine.
Let's start with a little introduction.
All right, well, I'm Andréa Hodge. I'm a third-year doctoral student at Florida State University in their strategy program. I passed my comps a little while ago over the summer, and this has been my first semester teaching. It's the spring of 2023. So a little bit about how I got here. I'm originally from Michigan. I did my undergraduate degree in New Orleans at a historically Black college called Xavier University of Louisiana. I'm a very proud graduate. It was an incredible education experience. I got my bachelor's degree was actually in education. Later, I went on to get my master's degree in urban studies with a concentration in community development. And I've always kind of had a passion for entrepreneurship in a lot of different forms. In fact, I also have worked as an entrepreneur myself as a Zumba fitness instructor. So I know a little bit about what it's like to be self-employed and what it's like to hustle, to live off your own abilities. I think we all do that in our jobs, especially now. But to be able to like create a market for yourself and to create your own job. So I have a spot in my heart for entrepreneurs and people who work to create a vision, to turn a vision into something that's real. And especially when it comes to things that are social or economic, um, but other things too, like technology.
So I guess my first question is a bachelor in education, a master's in urban studies, and a PhD in business, basically, because you're part of the College of Business. Three very different disciplines. What happened in between all of those? And I'm sure you see a connection, and I would love
Yeah,
to see the connection as well.
I think it's a bit interdisciplinary. Obviously, it makes a lot of sense to me because all of the things that I've learned are skills that I use. They're knowledge bases that I build upon in my research, especially dealing with like systemic inequality, and entrepreneurship opportunities, economic development, and just working as in the education side of academia. um, how did I end up here? Honestly, it wasn't a straight line. I didn't really know. I knew that I wanted to go back into higher education because I really love learning and I can't stop myself from teaching myself new things, new skills, trying to understand and solve problems and find explanations to things that don't make sense. Um, I do that wherever I go. I've done that in every job I've ever had. Um, and I think as I was trying to figure out my pathway back to academia, I had a lot of different people in my life who kind of pointed me like a little this way, a little that way. And then and then after kind of looking at all the possible options, going back for a strategy degree seemed like the best way for me to start a journey in an area that I wanted to build a career in that would allow me to do the types of things to pursue research, to teach, to maybe down the line be involved with entrepreneurs more so in like a center type situation, and to like help build the next generation of business leaders and entrepreneurs. That's how I got there. A lot of people giving me advice, trying to help me figure out what my pathway could look like and where I might be most happy and fulfilled.
So I see the connection with education because it seems like you're really passionate about educating the next generation. How do you use your degree in urban studies?
Well, a lot of so entrepreneurship is actually a very big, it's a very broad field. You have people who do research on things like entrepreneurial creativity, entrepreneurial learning, the decision to become an entrepreneur. And then you have other people who do research on international entrepreneurship and how people decide whether or not they want to like enter a new country or send their products to a new country or to like differentiate their product lines to different groups. And then and then there's also that high level approach to entrepreneurship where you're looking at how like within a specific geographic region how many people are engaging in entrepreneurship, or even how the efforts of entrepreneurs in a certain community or within a certain state or municipal area, or even sometimes like not even like geographically bounded groups of entrepreneurs are making an economic impact on society in general. That's another part of that. Um, for me, urban studies really helps to tie together two things that are interesting to me. Um, Number one, I think I and a lot of the questions I ask are questions about how to make the world more just and humane. And I think I approach it through management and through entrepreneurship because I believe that people have a limited but powerful ability to change the world around them. Um, and I think I was about to make a point about communities and community development. And what urban studies really does is you kind of see you get a little bit of that, the economics, then you also get a little bit of how people work together in like groups, how the structures that people build, how the decisions that people make like together can make a difference. um, and that's kind of where that community development piece comes in, how like not only as individuals do we have the ability to create structures, social structures, economic structures that make the world a better place for all of us, but as communities we do as well. And the work that we do to create those structures, it doesn't just impact us, but it impacts our environment as well.
That's fascinating. So you already touched upon your research, and I know you're still at the early stages of your research, but tell me more about what you are planning to do for your research.
Well, I have to be honest, I'm still figuring it out.
Okay.
I mentioned that I do have this passion regarding the intersection between social and systemic inequality and entrepreneurship. And I think one of the other things I hinted at is this kind of fascination with the emergence of technology, which is another one of those things that enables people to turn their vision into reality. And really, that's kind of what technology is. It's like imagination made real. Like the emergence of new technology is like the imagination of things, is imagination made real. Um, it's things we couldn't do before, we can now do. Um, and I'm not sure what that's going to look like yet for my dissertation. Um, I could say that I have a particular passion for text analysis. And I think it's very likely that whatever I do, there's going to be an element of qualitative text analysis using computer aided methods. Um, I I have been getting a little bit into natural language processing. It's been several years now, not just because it's cool now, but because I think language holds a lot of meaning, and It's such a rich source of data that it provides so much opportunity for understanding and answering questions.
So besides academia, what do you like to do on your spare time? What are your passions and hobbies?
Well, I think one thing that's been somewhat of a struggle in any doctoral program is maintaining that balance and doing things you love. And sometimes it's like it's easier sometimes than others. But when I'm doing a good job at protecting my life outside of academia, I really enjoy taking walks in the parks. I really love Tallahassee's nature scene. It's beautiful here, great places to hike, beautiful trees. It's good to get out in nature and just be reminded of how much bigger the world is than your little laptop computer and all the questions you're trying to answer.
Yeah.
And I also enjoy cooking. Something that I have not done in a while and I miss so much is dancing. Like I said, Zumba fitness instructor, but it's been a very long time since I've been to a Zumba class. It's something that makes me feel like a whole person and so much joy, so much creativity. It's something that I wish I did more, that I made more time for, that I love doing, but I haven't done in a while.
For my last question, where do you see yourself in 5 years from today?
I do really hope that I'll be able to work as a professor. 5 years from today, I think it's hard to imagine what it would look like because I still don't, there's so many different pathways in academia as a professor. I just know that I really love what I'm doing right now. And so I hope that I continue to have the opportunity to do that, to do research that I think has like both the conceptual and practical implications, to hear the stories of entrepreneurs who are transforming their worlds and to be a part of equipping that next generation of entrepreneurs and leaders. And that's what I want to keep doing. I'm not really sure. I think there's a lot of ways that could happen. But that's where I want to be in 5 years, is continuing to do the things that I love and to contributing to society in that way.
Well, thank you so much for your time. It was great to know more about you and your aspiration for the future. And I really thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you for your time.